Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to SOC Live. Myself and Danny have made our way down to pitchside from our vantage point on the gantry. A wonderful performance once again from Sunderland. A big 3 points again, and they're still yet to concede a goal in the league this season, Danny.
Yeah, indeed, clean sheets, isn't it? Fantastic, yeah, as we just mentioned at the end of the game there, from right the way from Anthony Patterson at the back, the centre-backs, obviously full-backs through the team. You know, we said it last week, it's difficult to single someone out as having a poor performance, really, and the same again this afternoon. Everybody was at it. First 5 minutes or so, I thought they looked like they were going to be on the front foot, tested us with a couple of balls in behind, but after that, we settled in like we did against Sheffield Wednesday, took control of the game, and almost had too much energy, I thought, for Burnley this afternoon. And coming here today, you know, somebody said to me outside the ground, I'd take a point today. And I always think, well, possibly yes, but then gauge the game on what you see, that 90 minutes. And if you look back at that, and I think 1-0 has perhaps flattered Burnley this afternoon. I think just chatting to a steward on the way down, and I said if we'd have gone in 2-3-0 up at the break, you couldn't have argued it this afternoon. Second half, a little bit scrappier. They had moments. They had a bit more possession. Burnley didn't have too many moments.
Chances though, like you said in commentary, Anthony Patterson didn't really have to make any big saves, did he?
No, I think Foster sort of dragged one late on, comfortable. Other than that, I can't remember Anthony Patterson being troubled all afternoon. And then we had a couple of opportunities on the counter, which perhaps we could have done better with. But as you said, another goal on the board, another clean sheet, 3 points sat top of the table.
Let's have a look through the action then from today's game. It was a pretty impressive first half in particular from Sunderland. Second half, as you'd expect, Burnley did come at Sunderland and they did have moments, but first half from Sunderland, it was all about that press for me. And of course we saw Romain Mundle get his account open for the season as well. What about his performance overall on that left-hand side?
Yeah,
obviously a lot of circumstances dictating why he started today, and he really rose to the occasion.
No, I thought he was fantastic. You know, desire, getting on the ball, drive, committing Connor Roberts all afternoon. You asked Connor Roberts getting back on the bus. He wouldn't have enjoyed that this afternoon. Coming up against Romain Mundle, he perhaps wouldn't have known too much about him, but Romain's taking his opportunity this afternoon. And you say sometimes it can be difficult for some of the younger boys that they're not getting game time, you know, living away from home. All these things come into it, and then when they get the opportunity, are they ready to step up? Are they ready to go in there and have an impact on the game? And this man has done this afternoon. You see this, I don't mind that at all. He's cutting inside. You see, you know, Patrick, similar last week, want to come in on their favoured foot. Sometimes they're going to fly in the top corner, other times they're going to fly over the crossbar, and it did on that occasion. But it's positive play, and you've seen that throughout the team. And a lot of the lads are in there, they're playing with no fear. You know, it can be difficult in this stadium. I've said it, you know, I've been there as a player, 40-odd thousand, when things aren't going, it can be hostile. But these lads are playing at this moment in time. They're full of energy. The crowd are with them, and you can just see it in the performances. Chris Rigg, Job, setting the tone, really, getting after the Burnley midfielders, going and pressing the centre backs, not giving them time and space to get their heads up and pick a pass and play through the lines.
He's the goal, Danny.
Just fantastic all afternoon, and there's the goal. Yeah,
and he was definitely onside. We saw the
replays.
We've
seen it back. Yeah, a couple of people asking us coming out. This is a great angle of it. Just keep your eye on the 5 and the 6 in the middle there now, slightly deeper the 6-yard line. We see Romain up there. He's just onside ahead of him, you know, in terms of where he needs to be, and then it takes a couple of touches, and they probably think they've got him in a good position there, and he just smashes it through Connor Roberts' legs, flies past the keeper, no chance really. But as I said there, 1-0 at half-time has flattered Burnley this afternoon. I'm sure you see, you know, when you hear Scott Parker's post-match interview after, I'm sure he'll agree. You can see him frustrated time and time again on the touchline. Didn't enjoy his afternoon at the Stadium of Light, and that's what we want to see with teams coming up here this season. Make it difficult for them. Don't let them settle in, feel at home. And I just think at this moment in time we've got energy. But that was the only chance really, right on half-time. Yeah. Coutinho, you see him there, had a frustrated afternoon, but he stands a lovely ball up to the far post and just doesn't get his timing right on the header, does he, at the far post? And that was their chance really all afternoon over the 90 minutes. That's all they've offered really. But I thought second half we took our time to get into it a little bit really. It wasn't quite as, you know, it's difficult when you set your levels as we did in that first half, where we were up there sort of pressing, controlling the game really. You almost expect Burnley to come into it and have a bit of a spell in the game, albeit they had some of the ball. They didn't really do much with it, and then we got back on track really. I thought Patrick was excellent as well, driving, looked back to his best. You know, it's almost like a magnet's on the ball to his foot, doesn't it, where he's driving at full-backs, coming across the pitch. But the one thing I did say in comms there is we're almost trying to score the perfect goal at times instead of somebody, be brave, pull the trigger. We're almost trying to walk the ball into the back of the net, but we've done enough. We've got the goal in the first half, and the lads at the back, as I said, fantastic. Didn't really give them a sniff at the other end of the pitch.
I'm not really paid to pick a player of the match, but for me, Patrick Roberts really stood out for me. Would he get your accolade?
I give it Romain. It could have gone either way. Adji Elise was excellent. Kept another clean sheet alongside Luke. Both of them positional play, reading situations. Didn't give a couple of experienced centre forwards an opportunity all afternoon. But if you're looking at Patrick, just his desire, his drive all game, getting on the ball, constantly tormenting the Burnley back line. But I'd go for Romain on the fact that he's come into the team today. Let's say he'll have been frustrated at having not had as much game time as he would have hoped, but obviously when Jack Clark was playing ahead of him in that position, it would have been difficult. But he's come in today and he stood up and he said, give me the ball time and time again. I'm going to commit, I'm going to drive time and time again at the full back. And he's the difference today. Without his goal, yes, game could have panned out differently, of course, but without his goal, we'd have been sat here talking about a 0-0 frustrating afternoon.
Yeah, just looking back through some more of these moments from the game, deep inside the second half now.
A few of these in the second half, didn't we? Where look at the bodies and then it was dropping about and it just didn't quite drop for someone. Patrick again there, driving in. Job feels that he's perhaps got fouled, comes to Romain, can't pull the trigger. He's looking for that yard just to get the strike away, but Burnley players in there just on top of him. And here we go again. Patrick coming across the pitch. Yeah, he pulls the trigger. Similar to Romain's in the first half where he fired the one over the cross. Don't mind it from Patrick. He's earned the right really to pull the trigger, hasn't he? Because the shift he's put in all afternoon. He's had a couple of opportunities. He's fired a few balls across for other players to try and get on the end of it. But no, fantastic to see. And I'm sure Regis is in there with the lads debriefing him, and he's full of praise for the boys, and rightly so.
Let's have a look at the scores from around the doors this afternoon and the EFL Championship. So here's the scores. Sheffield Wednesday 0, Leeds United 2, Bristol City 1, Coventry City 1, Hull City 0, Millwall 0, Queen's Park Rangers 1, Plymouth Argyle 1, Blackburn Rovers 2, Oxford United 1, Middlesbrough 2, Portsmouth 2, Norwich City 1, Sheffield United 1, Preston North End 1, Luton 0, Stoke City 1, West Bromwich Albion 2, you know all about our game, Watford 2, Derby County 1, and there's a late kick-off in South Wales. Watford winning means they've got a 100% record as well. Yeah. So let's have a look at the Championship as it stands. And it makes good reading for Sunderland fans. On goal difference, Sunderland are top of the league. Well, it's quite a long way to go, but that'll be a nice sight for Sunderland fans. It's been a while.
Of course it was, yeah. We always say, don't we, it's early in the season, and sometimes I think we put the table up at this stage in the season. But yeah, when you're there, you want to see your team there. Of course you do. You don't want to see your team at the bottom end, regardless whether it's 3 games in or not. Still a long way to go, as you said, but what a fantastic start. We're scoring goals. We're keeping the ball out the net. I'm sure it's perhaps never happened for the club. I think, starting the season, you haven't conceded a goal in your first 3 games. So we're obviously doing things right at that end of the pitch. We're creating opportunities. Everything's rosy at this moment in time. Still a long way to go, of course there is. As we've seen last season, early December, we're sat in amongst the playoffs and everything tailed out. But from what we've seen so far, massive praise to the boys. Fantastic energy levels are there for me. Moving the ball quicker. They'll enjoy playing in the stadium, 40,000 every week when they can. And we're going to have some tough tests on the road. We've got a couple of away games coming up. Is it Portsmouth and then Plymouth, I think? So 2 long journeys, good tests for us. And then back here against Middlesbrough.
Weird Tees Derby, of course, as well.
So, but take each game as it comes. The old cliches come out early in the season. Take each game as it comes, but fantastic start to the season.
Let's have a look at the thought then. If you've been getting in touch with us this afternoon using the old hashtags, we've got Elliot who's been in touch. My thoughts on the game. Both the wingers were outstanding today, especially Pat Roberts, and I think the centre-backs complemented each other well. Would you agree with that as a former defender, Danny?
No, spot on, yeah. It's difficult though, as you say there, of course you tend to look for a man of the match and who's had the biggest impact on the game, but you've got to go through, you go spine of the team usually, don't you? Centre-backs set the stall out early on. As I said, Adji timed a couple of tackles really well. Read situations well. Luke as usual as well. Middle of the park, the 2 young lads ahead of Dan Neil, ratting about, getting after people. Composure on the ball as well at times. And then obviously your 2 wide men really. I think Mayenda, he didn't have a clear-cut opportunity as such this afternoon, did he? He had a few bobbling round trying to find that opportunity to get a strike away. But yeah, he's right there. Patrick easily can pick up man of the match. I wouldn't argue with that. And obviously on the other side, Romain. And I'd probably go for Romain with the fact that, as I said there, he's just got himself into the starting lineup. And he's pulled out a wonder strike to take the 3 points. So fantastic. Lads will be brimming with confidence in the changing rooms and good competition. The new boys coming into the side, Paveda as well, Dan Ballard back there as well. So everything's positive at this moment in time.
Okay, Danny, let's have a look where Sunderland head next here on SAFC Live as they go to try and keep their 100% record in the EFL Championship. It's Fratton Park. It's 3 p.m. It's next week. And we'll be here from around 2:15 here on SAFC Live. Well, Regis Lebris has got a 100% record in English football. Long may it continue. We'll be back next weekend for that. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. It's a bank holiday as well, so enjoy that extra day off. We'll see you soon.